It's official. Oasis have announced a reunion tour, summer gigs next year. Half the internet is excited. The other half of the internet is raging at people being excited. You call that radio? 3, 2, 1. This is the news. Oasis have reunited for the first time in 15 years. They are confirmed they're playing Cardiff, Manchester, London, Edinburgh and Dublin. And 15 years of slagging each other is over. Well, maybe not. I still expect them to slag each other. There's a chance that they could fall out on stage. There's a chance that these gigs might not even happen. But people are excited because Oasis were the biggest band in the world. Now, I think it was actually the guy from KLF, but it's just science in general. The most important music is the music that you listen to between the ages of 14 and 18. It's as you're growing up. It's when you're, when you're getting your first kiss. It's when you're getting your first swallow with your pals. It's just feeling like an adult and going to gigs for the first time. And as a young person who went to see Oasis at Glasgow Green, it was life-changing. It genuinely was. It was amazing. And I was just the right age. I understand people that were too old for it. There's some people that were a bit old and they said, Oasis are ripping off the Beatles or there's lots of videos about Oasis stealing songs from other places. It didn't matter. We were too young to know any of these songs. The swagger they had, the fact that it was a working class voices on the television, every scheme in the UK had Oasis on full bung. I know that there's a lot of music snobbery as well, so you might be too old, you might be too young, or you might be a music snob. That can also be the case. But if you were the right age and you lived in a scheme, Oasis were everywhere. And they were important. Definitely Maybe was perfect. Before that, we weren't really listening to anything like that. Guitars weren't really a thing in my life. I mean, obviously, I was lucky I had parents that were into things like the Beatles, Dire Straits, The Doors, Jimi Hendrix, all the classics. But that was their music. And when you start getting to about the age of 10, 11, 12, you want your own music. And we did have things like Ultrasonic, but in general, we were just listening to pop music or dance music without any guitars. So when Oasis came out, it encouraged everyone to pick up the guitar. Even my brother. He can play half the world away. It takes him about 10 minutes to do the chord changes. But it made him pick up the guitar. It made everyone pick up the guitar. In fact, that's maybe why people hate Oasis so much, because a lot of bands came in and absolutely ripped off Oasis and stole their ideas. But they stole their ideas as well. But there was something, it felt genuine about the swagger, the banter, them being on stage, them sticking the fingers up at journalists, them taking the piss out of interviewers, getting flung off boats and arrested, and it felt like rock and roll. And, that might not seem cool anymore to middle-aged people, but when you're away, that was amazing. And even to this day, Liam Gallagher on Twitter's still funny. Knowles went a wee bit a different way, but to have them both on stage at the same time is going to be a nostalgia trip for millions of people will want tickets. Millions of people want tickets. There's people that don't go to any gigs apart from Oasis and Ocean Coliseum. They live in small towns. Friends of mine, they don't get out much, but they'll come out for Oasis and maybe Ocean Coliseum or something along those lines. So they're going to be excited. I've seen people saying that the picture might be photoshopped. This picture here. People were expecting a press conference or something. Well, they did say there was going to be a press conference. I heard that somewhere, but that was just fucking probably the Sun or something. So, Apparently, the real photos. There's more photos. They were together. It's some people complaining about the poster and stuff. None of that matters, man. Liam Gallagher could have scribbled down the dates that they were playing on a sheet of paper and uploaded a photo with a link to Ticketmaster, and it would still sell it. They don't need to promote this. They don't need to do a press conference. Is it not more exciting that they don't do a press conference and we have to wait to the first night that they play to see them on stage together? Will they give each other a hug, or will they be at the opposite ends of the stage, raging at each other? Is it a money grab? I don't think they need the money. You know, I've seen people saying the divorce settlement's over or some shit. I don't. Oasis are very, very wealthy. Liam and Noah, anyway. They're very, very wealthy. They don't need the money. But it's rumoured that they will take away £50 million each for these gigs. And they've hinted that this is just the start of more gigs. Will there be more new music? Doubt it. I don't think they'll do any more new music. But I could be wrong. Maybe they just hit it off and they start making tunes again. But I wouldn't expect new music. I would expect them to see how their gigs go. And if it goes well, then maybe go to Europe and America. But they're not doing it for the money. The other complaint I've seen is people saying they've not even announced the exact lineup. Nobody cares. Nobody actually cares. It would be good to see Bonehead back. It would be good to see Giggsy back. But then you've got Jem, Andy Bell. What do you... You can't have all of them on stage, can you? Maybe you could. But you're trying to tell me, don't tell lies. You're not going to go because Giggsy's not there. You're somebody that isn't going to go anyway. People want to see Noel Gallagher and Liam Gallagher on the same stage playing the classics. That's all they care about. And all you music snobs, we get it. You don't like Oasis. That's okay. But let people enjoy things. I don't think Oasis get enough credit because it's not cool to admit that you like Oasis. But as my friend Victoria McNulty, the poet, says, it's not a house party until Don't Look Back in Anger comes out the stereo. You know what I mean? And I can agree with that to a certain degree. It depends what kind of party you're at, I suppose. But the music snobs, what they fail to realise is that a lot of their favourite bands were inspired by Oasis. They just don't talk about it much. So by listening to Oasis, I started reading the NME, and that's why I started getting into bands like Mercury, who I interviewed on this show recently that you can check on the YouTube channel. I got into the Beta Band, who have nothing to do with Oasis. They probably didn't like Oasis at all at the time. I got into the Flaming Lips and just lots of other little bands that appeared because I started getting interested in guitar music because of Oasis. I started reading the NME, the Melody Maker. I started, there was just Britpop exploded, and there was some bands were shite, some bands were good, some bands are still around to this very day. It was just an exciting time. We just got rid of the Tories. There was hope in the air. We didn't know that it was going to go bad with that. We didn't know that, it felt like anything was possible. And that's maybe just the naivety of young age. But, I mean, whether I would go, I don't know. I don't know if I would go. I seen them in their prime. But, now that I'm seeing the dates, maybe. I'd quite like to see it. And are you going to say, oh, well, I don't know fuck all about music because I'd like to maybe see that? I didn't think I was bothered. I heard a few weeks ago that this was happening. Fred Dwayne is a roadie, and he said that they'd already booked the crew for next year. And I didn't say anything because I didn't know if it was true, and also I wanted to respect the secret. And it's actually been one of the biggest secrets kept in the music industry because even last night people were going, is this actually happening? People have been talking about this for weeks. So if I knew about it weeks ago, then probably months. It's been the back burner. And Noel Gallagher, gave Liam a shout out a couple of weeks ago. There's been a few, they've been teasing it for a while now. So, I mean, I don't know if I can afford the ticket. I don't know if I'll get a ticket. I doubt I'll be able to get a press pass. That'll be all the other guys that'll get that. But it's actually quite, I'm enjoying everyone getting excited about it. I think it's good. The young team who love Oasis that have been going to watch Liam Gallagher and Noel Gallagher, they'll be buzzing in the same way that I was buzzing when the Stone Roses reformed, because I never thought in a million years I would get to see the Stone Roses live. So they're probably buzzing right now. But I did get to see Oasis live, so I did see them in their prime. So I was like, I don't think I'll be that bored about it. But now seeing everyone talking about it and telling all their stories, I don't know, I'm starting to tap in to the younger version of me who would actually quite like to see it. And I know lots of people that watch You Call That Radio or listen to our audio podcast will be like, Oasis are shite. I know that people will say that. Maybe, just maybe, it will encourage more people to pick up the guitar. You know? And unfortunately, we only remember the shite bands that ripped off Oasis exactly. But there was millions of great artists that came out of that where they did the same thing. They listened to Oasis's inspirations. They listened to the support bands. They listened to the other guitar bands that came out of this movement. They learned to play their instruments, and they got into little obscure bands. And then when the journalist asks what band you're into, they don't say Oasis. They say something cooler. And the reason it's not cool like Oasis is because they became so mainstream. They were everywhere. So if you didn't like them, it would have been really annoying. And this isn't like the internet. You know, I've never even heard a Justin Bieber song in my life. I've never heard a Taylor Swift song in my life because we have internet now. But back then, it was just the charts. It was everywhere. It was the radio, the telly, everything was just the chart music. So I understand if you didn't like Oasis, you would have hated it because it was just everywhere. But I liked Oasis. Definitely it was a classic. What's the Story, Morning Glory was great. Be Here Now, slightly overhyped, but the hype was real. I remember being excited about it. The Master Plan had some amazing B-sides, and then it all started kind of falling apart a little bit. But 15 years is a long time, so people are excited. 15 years means that there's 15-year-olds who were not even born when Oasis split up, that have been listening to their parents' music all their life. They can now finally go to a gig. I think it's a good thing. Let's get the young'uns picking up guitars again. But yeah, don't try and sound like Oasis, please. We've had enough of that. In fact, we're quite glad to see that's stopped mostly. Not in certain towns. In certain towns, they still sound like Oasis to this day. But yeah, pick up the guitar, but don't try and rip off Oasis note for note. Please. And somebody let people enjoy things. Just let them enjoy things. What's the big issue? If you don't like Oasis, you don't need to jump in a comment thread and say, I fucking hate Oasis. What's the point in that? So what do you think? Leave a comment. Are you excited about Oasis coming back? And if you hate Oasis, I don't mind it. You can just say, I know I said, don't leave a comment if you hate Oasis. But for this one time, get all your hatred out in the comments here. Because likes, comments and subscriptions helps boost the channel. But get all your hate out in the comments and then just stop saying that you hate Oasis. And let people enjoy things. And yeah, let us know. Are you going to get a ticket? Where would you go? Would you go to Cardiff? I mean, Manchester's where you want to be, I suppose, isn't it? And I'm sure there'll be people moaning that there's no Glasgow date, but Glasgow gets all the good bands. Edinburgh needs this more than Glasgow. Because apart from, what's in August though? Fuck's sake, it's in August. So like, the only month where anything happens in Edinburgh, Oasis are going to do a couple of nights there. That's the door. You couldn't write this, man. I ordered a new jacket. ordered this new jacket about a week ago. And it's actually got that kind of, I don't even know if it's a parka. Fuck knows, I don't know anything about fashion. Leave a comment. This is the news. Bye.
You call that radio?